Is that gonna fall? We're okay. We're okay. Right, don't know how well you're gonna see that. I'll just turn the light up. How is it? Is it better with the light up, like really, really powerful, or not? Right, so I'll explain. I'll put the light down a bit actually. It's a bit too in my face. Right, there we go. I think it'll be okay with the light down. I'm gonna have to move out the way a bit. There we go. Right, I need my pen and my little whiteboard eraser. You're gonna have to bear with me today because I was facing problems yesterday. So, some of you on Instagram will have heard, or will have seen rather, I got a whiteboard, right? And basically what you didn't see on that post is it was a standing whiteboard. So it was meant that, it has a stand and it's meant to go on the stand. However, because I do Thursday talks from my room and I've not got enough space to put the stand anywhere without it being kind of outside the view of the camera or not on the camera properly, I thought to myself, damn, how am I going to do this? So I ripped it off the stand, even though you're not meant to do that. Like, I literally, there was the joints like holding it in, and I just ripped it off the stand, and I got my friend Ryan over, and we put some industrial strength sticky, like sticky back things on the board, and we mount it up. Anyway, that was about 4 o'clock yesterday. Come 12 o'clock tonight when I'm sleeping, my bed's right there. And this is like, it's not far off over my bed, like the start of my bed is about here, like down here, you're just off camera. So at 12 o'clock tonight, we'll go to sleep, and I hear this big whack, Anyway, board's falling down on it. I have a pain in my neck here, so I'm like, did that board just hit me or not? Because I really wasn't. Obviously, I was sleeping, so if something hit me, you would think that you would be aware that it's hit you, but like I just had this pain in my neck, and I didn't know whether it hit me or not. Maybe it was a placebo effect, I don't know. Thinking it had hit me triggered a little bit of pain, I'm not sure. But, I mean, I wouldn't put it past me with my brain, but anyway, yeah, so, for this week only, I've had to stand it on my chair. Whether it's going to fall off or not, I don't know. It'll just be a laugh if it does fall off. So, we are going to have a whiteboard. We are going to do the whiteboard thing from now on. I need to get some, I've actually ordered some really super strong, like kind of tape. And I might even get a different whiteboard that is better for a wall. So, because this one is quite heavy actually, being, it's meant to go on the stand, so obviously you would imagine it's quite heavy, not like a normal wall whiteboard, which is a little bit lighter. So yeah, I've got some sticky stuff coming, and I'll either try with the sticky stuff on this board, and it's like proper like Velcro, super strong stuff that holds like 7-8 kilograms of weight, which this should be okay with. Or I'll get another whiteboard and we can start again next week. But yeah, I thought the whiteboard idea is brilliant. I've always wanted to do it. I've just never had, I've never realised a place where I could put it or do it properly. I apologise about my mic. I've had to have my mic in a different position. I don't know how well the audio's coming out. I've got it plugged in, haven't I? Brilliant. I thought I'd think to myself then, probably just rambled for 5 minutes with my mic not even plugged in. But I've got that plugged in. Is it on? Yeah, it's definitely on. Right. So that's cool. So that's plugged in. So I apologise about the mic here. I will try and fix that for next week, but it doesn't deter from a view of the board. I'm just going to look in the chat to see if everyone can hear me, see if the board is like in view properly, because it's a little bit, it looks a little bit small for me, but obviously for you guys it'll be on a bigger view. So we'll have a look in the chat. One sec. He's not took that scarf off since Christmas. I have taken it off. I don't wear it every day. It's just like wearing it for Thursday talks. I do wear it quite a lot. Good afternoon, all working but still listening. Ads, are you cold? Afternoon. You know, it's actually quite warm today. I went for a walk. It's a really nice day. Just got to drive across town, so we'll be in and out. No problem. Don't bloody watch this while you're driving. God damn it. Thought this was at 2 PM. No, it's normally at 1. It's been at 1 for blooming, God, I don't know how long, 100 episodes or something. Right, yeah, so I don't know whether anyone was never sat close to a board at school. I can actually read what's on it. Oh, you can actually read what's on it. Brilliant. Right, one sec. Let me go up a bit further. So we've got loads of people in. MM Antique, Peter Ray, Jason, George Ross at Sparrow's End, Andy, Monumental UK, Richard Payne, you know the rest of it. Loads of people. Kim Kelly. Loads of people in there. I'm not going to shout out everyone. So, now you can see the board, we can get on, can't we? We can get on. We can do a little lesson. Well, I say lesson. It's not a lesson. This is not certified advice. I'm an idiot with a whiteboard. I want that known right now. This is not... One second. This is not advice. You see that? My terrible writing. This is not advice. Right, I'm going to have to get my little wiper now. So, has everyone read that? And you can pause the video if you haven't. This is not advice. This is an idiot with a whiteboard, right? Now, I'm also getting a whiteboard eraser, so don't worry, I won't be this slow in future episodes. But just like the first episode with the green screen, it was probably a bit choppy. So you've got to give me one episode just to get the feel for it. And then, after that, we'll be all good going. This is going to fall. This is definitely going to fall. Also, if you've got a question, then type it in the chat. I've also got down here, type questions in capitals in chat for me to see it. That is very important because I won't see it otherwise. You know what I'm like. And then what I can do, if it's a question that you know is good to answer on a whiteboard, I can do it on the whiteboard. So it's cool. And yes, as I mentioned, I am getting a bloody wiper. It takes so long, and also it doesn't actually come off very well with this cloth. Maybe I need a wet cloth or something. I'm not sure. Oh, this is rocking. How many times is this gonna fall off? Oh, bloody hell. My guess is 0 because I'm gonna try my best to keep things intact. Oh, also. First off, try humanising oranges more. I want you to try that tonight. When you're eating an orange, try humanising it. It's a very cool experience. But, right, so here's the goals for the video. 30 likes, right? 30 likes. I'm not joking with this one. 30 likes. So everyone, if you haven't smashed the like button, hit the like button now. Because what that does, or what I've heard, you know, like with these YouTube gurus or whatever, is they say if you get loads of likes on a live stream while it's live streaming and loads of engagement generally, then it pushes it up the search while it's live and then more viewers come in. So smash the like. Let's get to 30 by the end of the video. I know we normally have about 38 to 42 people coming in here for Thursday Talks, so we could do it. I know it's a stretch, I'm aware of that, but we could do it. Test feature. This is brilliant, this whiteboard already. I'm learning already, because I would have forgot to do that. I would have forgot to bloody test the feature. So what I need someone to do, right? What I need someone to do is unsubscribe for, this is the only time I'm ever going to say this, right? Unsubscribe from my channel and then resubscribe to the channel, because I've set up my Streamlabs. So over there, if it's working, bear in mind this might not work, it's the first time I've ever done it, but over there should pop up a little like someone has just subscribed. So someone unsubscribe and then resubscribe, and I should get a little notification up there, and then it should show on the live stream as well. It's what Z used to use, or I think he still uses, and I think Caroline uses it as well for super chats and subscribers and stuff, and it pops up and there's a little graphic there and it's blue text. So yeah, that's that. Relationships and reselling, that is the topic today, so get your questions in the chat for relationships and reselling, you know, like how we are with our families about it, all the rest of it. I might have covered this one other time in Thursday Talks, but it's one of those topics that I've not covered that much, so we're going to cover it, you know, we may as well. Also, while I'm doing all my plugs and stuff, check out the little revolving text thing down there. It should be down there. I'm looking at it now. Yeah, you know, like, subscribe, hit me up on Instagram. It's coming. Look, it's nearly there now. Come on, Instagram. Instagram. There we go. Hit me up on Instagram at, there should be an at there, but I didn't like the at sign in that font of text, so I didn't use it. At adsrobo96, hit me up on there. And then also another one that's coming through. Need packaging supplies, go down below if you want packaging supplies. There we go. And Antiques just subscribed. Boom, it works. We got. I love that. Like, it's so professional. So professional, isn't it? Well, okay, no one else do it because it'll annoy me now, and everyone's gonna do it. Everyone's gonna do it, and it's gonna annoy me. But yeah, right. Let's go in the chat now. Let's have a look where we're at. Never see any question. Never see questions anyway, as does not read the chat enough. Now I know I don't read the chat enough. Oi! What did I just say? No one. Oh, for God's sake! Why does people keep doing it? Oh God, tell you. Maybe actually, sorry, if that was just someone just subscribing, I'm sorry. I don't mean to shout at you, but if that's another person doing that, I'll be annoyed. Cause oh God. Anyway, we're gonna get about 10 of them through now, aren't we? Literally, they're gonna stream through. I should have choose something better with the sound there. Oh no, I was gonna get a. God damn it! Who's that now? George, what? Oh, for God's sake! Oh, I only needed one person to do it. God damn it! Coordinate yourselves, please. We're human. We're not like bloody wolves or something. Although wolves probably are more coordinated than humans in packs when they're hunting. But still, I don't know. Well, actually, that's what we should do. We should get wolves and humans together. We should get a pack of humans and a pack of wolves and see which ones are better. Like, which one in a pack does better. I bet you... Whoa, what's it? Oh, Jason. Right, okay. May as well wait until everyone's finished, you know. May as well wait until everyone's finished now. Because now we know that that's on there. We're going to keep doing it. I'm going to have to remove that and just do it for the super chats rather than the subscribes. Because that's just going to annoy me. But anyway... yeah, we should get together like wolves and humans in packs and see what happens. I reckon the wolves would win, to be honest, because a lot of humans, we'll all be on the phones. Everyone would just be, you know. Oh, for God's sake, no more! Oh God, it's killing me. It's killing me. It's killing me. Right, okay, let's have a look in chat. Right, question in capitals. Anyone got any questions? Come on. God, it's so bad bending over like this. I need to find a new way of doing this. Ooh! I've got a new way of doing it. One sec. Take me a minute. Never done this on my phone. Brilliant. Right, I've got the chat up on my phone. Had a lot of rubbish over... Oh, this is so good. Why don't I do this normally? Right. Okay. Now I can flip back onto this. Right, brilliant. Okay. Alan's in the chat. Hi there. Has Ads got a girlfriend? No, I haven't got a girlfriend, and I will just say one day, because I know someone mentioned it. Oh, yeah, that's right, isn't it? I know someone mentioned it the other week. One day I will tell you a small amount of my unconventional sexual past. But I'm not going to talk about that here. I need to be fully ready to immerse in that experience. But the problem I have, if ever one day I get famous and then all this stuff comes out when I've not said it, it's like, oh God, the press. Theory, oh my God. Right, okay. Everyone can stop that now. Everyone can stop that, right. But if ever that comes out, right, in the future, then it's just going to be a nightmare with all the press and everything. So I'd rather talk about it myself here, and then in 20 years, if I'm famous, like sat on a couch of a talk show. And this is really weird. This is probably how bad my ego is. I actually imagine that in the future, like almost every day. I have these weird like daydreams where I imagine me talking through all the things I've done with someone like on a talk show, you know, like on a talk show on a couch with someone. It's really weird. And I imagine like Thursday talks at like 40,000, 50,000 live viewers and stuff. It's really weird. I don't know why I do it. I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. You know, it's like you know, like people get enjoyment out of, you know, just daydreaming, like looking out the window and stuff and just thinking things through. I suppose that's kind of my kind of way of doing it, but I dream things for myself. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people would say it's law of attraction, but I don't know. It's kind of, I suppose it's a little bit different than that because I'm not writing them down and stuff, but yeah. No, so I'll talk to you a bit about that in a few months, maybe. I don't know, it depends when I'm ready, but I mean, people can guess. People can guess my sexuality. I mean, come on, you can guess that. You don't need like to be a bit brain surgeon or anything to guess that. It's not what you think. It's not your immediate thought, but it's close to your immediate thought. So just think, right, what's my immediate thought? Oh, right, okay. And then just go to the side a little bit more, and then you're there, right? So don't worry about it too much. Will get ads to read chat more, and will he go off topic? No, I probably won't go off topic so much today. Well, a bit, you know, I will go off topic a little bit, but not too much. Just have a sip of tea. Yeah, so reselling and relationships. What is it like for you guys, like with your parents, with your spouse, with your sister, brother, whatever it may be, uncle, auntie? What is it like to be a reseller? Do they constantly say, like, go and get a proper job? Do they, you know, are they very supportive of you? Are they people who are, you know, like, just love what you do and want to do it themselves? What kind of is it that your friends and family actually kind of are like, you know, with you? Are they very, you know, as I say, are they very, very supportive, or are they very, very negative, or are they somewhere in between? You know, because mine have been, my dad, oh my god, I've told you about my dad before, but my dad's like, sometimes he can be very supportive of it, but sometimes he'll just be like, oh, you know, he just drops hints, like I've mentioned before, like, oh, you know, you could do this, or you could do that, like as if to say he wants me to go out and get a job, like an employed job, not a self-employed job. And it's something that's quite hard, because a lot of people use it as motivation to do more and more and more, and I do that a lot of the time. Like, I'll use the motivation from people saying, oh, you know, you're crap, or whatever, you know, well, whatever it may be. It's not really necessarily you're crap, but I use that as motivation to keep going, because I'm like, right, okay, so if they think I'm crap, and I'm like, you know, I think I'm middle, you know, I think I'm average, how do I use that motivation to get me to being even more where I want to be? That's kind of how I've always done it. So I'm like, yeah, you think I'm crap, I think I'm actually average, because I don't agree with you on that. I don't think I'm completely crap, I think I'm average. But I don't want to be average, I want to be a bit better than I am now. And that's not to berate myself of how I am now, it's just to say I want to expand my skill set in the future to be somewhere else. So you can use that motivation of people berating you, and even family members saying like, oh, go out and get a proper job, or do this or do that, to push you, and to maybe not necessarily make you work harder, but maybe make you work smarter or more efficiently, to then obviously really help yourself with you know, getting to a better place in life. So yeah, anyway, so I write on the board, what does, because I realised I'm not using the board, am I? I'm not going to get into that. What do your family, it's what does. I was going to put something else. God, it's really weird trying to think and write at the same time. What does your family think of your reselling? Drop it in the chat now. Or if you're not in the chat, drop it in the you know, the comments afterwards. So what does your, I'm gonna get a pointer, don't worry, I'm getting a pointer. Well, I will do, I'll have to order it. What does your family, is it does? Yeah, it is. What does your family think of your reselling? Is it negative? Is it positive? Is it, ooh, I don't know? Is it, you know, is it like somewhere in between, like, oh yeah, it's great, but, you know, I don't actually know what they do, you know, people like that towards you. Oh, I was going to go there, but I can go here, can't I? Brilliant. Right, one sec. I wonder if my subscriptions are hidden. They are on my channel. Let's just chat. Do you get many breakages when shipping pottery? What do you use for padding? I do not get many breakages. I've had, oh god, how many items have I shipped ceramics? Like, over the last, I mean, I've only really been doing ceramics for year and a half, 2 years, something like that. And then before that, I was like video games, toys, the rest of it. But for 2 years, I've probably done over. I'd say I want to say 500. I know I've definitely done 500 ceramics, like package them and everything. But I don't know. It could be close to 1,000. So I'm not sure. It's probably in that range of 500 items to 1,000 ceramic items that I've packed. And the only two breakages I've had is a little it was like a beak off a woodpecker, like off a it's like a small little. It was KSP the brand was, and it was a small little ceramic woodpecker with the beak just chipped off from, obviously. I mean, I packed it well, but I think what the mistake I made with that one is because it had that little beak extending out. Maybe I had wrapped it too. If you put too much pressure on certain areas of ceramics with little sharp extendable bits, sometimes the pressure from a bubble wrap, if they're already a little bit weak, can sometimes like collapse them and kind of force them off, especially if you then put them in a tight box and then they get shipped and then they get a bit of a pummeling through the postal service. That's sometimes something you've got to watch out for. But then the only other thing, which I didn't even, again, I don't really know how broke because I packed these well. I use big bubble wrap for all my ceramics, so I do pack them pretty well, and I always separate them out and all the rest of it. But these were an egg cup, so there's 4 egg cups in this parcel, and then one of them had broke. So I have like 500 or maybe close to 1,000. I've had 2 breakages. And what was the other part of the question? Was it what packaging do you use? So yeah, I use big bubble wrap anyway. One sec, gone off here. Oh no! Right, here we go. Oh no, it's jumped now. Chat's jumped. I can't see where that. Oh, there we go. What do you use for padding? Yeah. So I use newspaper. I use big bubble wrap. I use anything I get my hands on for free. If there's like those not bubble mailers, air pockets. Sometimes I get air pockets for free, so I sometimes use them. And then foam wrap and stuff. I sometimes use them. So yeah. Just, I don't get many breakages. What's that in terms of percentages? That's like less than 1%, like 0.3% or something breakages rate. So yeah, don't worry about that. You know, as long as you use the right packaging, you'll be fine. You shouldn't need to worry too much. When I was your age, my sexuality was greed. Brilliant, that's awesome. Most of my friends aren't too bothered really. My mum is supportive, bit more, and my dad a little as me have I sold anything recently. So that's pretty good, Peter, actually, if both your parents are pretty supportive. You know, obviously it's quite nice to hear that like people in your life are supportive of what you do and that they're encouraging to help you grow it and all the rest of it. So yeah. Mrs. Southwest Sellers, this is Gary, has 1 more week at work, then will be independent on reselling income alone. Wow, that's really cool, Gary. So she's definitely very, very supportive and probably doing it, well, basically a reseller with you. So, oh, 35 people watching, that's cool. I'm on 499 subs. Wow, you on? I checked out your channel before, George. I think it was it today or yesterday? And you're on like 483. So that's awesome. You got like 17 subs in a day. Who else have we got in here? Ah, yes, the thinking and the writing. I remember it well. What? The thinking and the writing. Oh, right, I get it. From before, yeah. Ollie, hi ads, love the vids, mate. They help keep me motivated. Yeah, my mother is always telling me to get a proper job. She says she lies awake worrying about me. It's silly. You know, I'll tell you a story. My mum won't like me telling you this, right? So when I was a reseller, right, well, when I started reselling, oh God, we're going to have to wipe. This is getting bad. Right, okay. I was starting reselling, so I'm little old me down here. You know, ads, 19-year-old ads. Right, ads. Oh God, this is terrible. 19-year-old ads, right? And I wear my flat cap and I walk around like I look like a dealer. I mean, right now, could I look like a dealer? Like, am I like one of those middle class antiques dealers? Do I look like one of them right now? I would say the jacket makes it, to be honest. I've not got half the experience or knowledge of them. I just mean I kind of look that way, right? So I used to have this style where I would look quite rough, right? So we're gonna call it rough because I'm telling myself I look rough. I'm not saying this about anyone else. I'm berating myself, so don't worry about it. Right, so I looked quite rough when I was walking around Chaz's, right? Chaz's, right? Looked quite rough. I was rough, and I was walking around with Chaz's, right? And in our town, it's not particularly the most affluent area, let's just say that. My mum was worried that I would get involved with, not get involved with, but basically not care about my appearance, and just basically be a reseller, and like just being with a certain crowd of resellers that were very scruffy and didn't dress very well. Basically, right, basically what it is, it's the stereotypical car boot dealer. That's what she had in her mind, like for her envisionment of what a car boot dealer was, or a reseller, or whatever. So her thing to me in the first 3 to 6 months was she didn't want me. She was more than happy for me to do reselling. She loved the fact that I'd found something I wanted to do. But she didn't want me to look like just one of these scruffy dealers walking around. Now, I used to have that assumption in my mind. Well, what I had the assumption in my mind for a reseller was below average intelligence, and this is right, I'm being honest here, right, and this is just a stereotypical generalization. Yeah, let's call it stereotypical generalization, I suppose that works. Below average intelligence, someone who doesn't dress very well, someone who shops at lower end supermarkets opposed to middle class or upper class supermarkets, which again, there's nothing wrong with that, it's just my stereotypical idea of what a reseller was. Someone who doesn't make a lot of money, despite, you know, people saying you can make millions on eBay. Someone who is, you know, kind of got more practical smarts about them than you know, theoretical smarts, or like you know, intellect in a practical way as opposed to the you know, opposed to the more theoretical intellect, or you know, more like, you know, Einstein and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say. Now my you know, once I met a few resellers and realised that, wow, actually there's some very intelligent resellers out there. I can name quite a few. I mean, Nick is a prime example. He's a very intelligent guy. You've got Caroline, Mrs. M, very intelligent woman, and she knows what she's doing, you know. You've got all these different people. You've got Ken Chapman, you know, he's like, well, he's really up on it, you know. So you've got all these people, and they're really intelligent, you know. So you don't, that kind of idea was dashed. Now, do a lot of resellers still wear the same clothes a lot of the time, or, you know, still wear similar clothes? Not necessarily scruffy clothes, but the same clothes. You see on Thursday Talks, right, that red checked shirt that I have, the thick one, I wear that bloody every week. I wear this jacket every week, and and you know why that is? It's because I don't want to spend time in the morning thinking, right, I've got to pick out a new outfit. I don't do that. I pick out like the same things, bar the, you know, the underwear and the socks and everything. I'm like, right, I'll just grab the same things. The longest time, and I'm being really honest here, and I shouldn't even say this, right, but this just shows how much of a person I do not care. Like, how much of a person reselling has turned me into, in terms of, like, me not caring what other people think. At the longest time I spent in the same jeans was like 5 weeks, because I did not care. I was just like, right, get up, get the things on, let's do some work, let's get into it, let's you know, do whatever I'm doing with the day. I just didn't care. So, you know, I mean, I suppose that in itself is a reason why you could attribute that kind of style to a reseller. It's because the reason why maybe some people wear the same clothes, or maybe not wear the same clothes all the time, but, you know, they don't change their clothes as often as many other people do, it's because they don't, that's the least down on their priority list. They do not care. They're just like, right, let's get out there, let's do the work, let's get things done, you know. And I suppose that's kind of why it's got that association, you know, or why my mum and even myself as a beginner reseller kind of drew that association. And it is quite funny, because I know the next thing people are going to say, they're going to say, well, didn't you just turn into that? You know, you just literally said that you've worn the same clothes like loads and loads and loads. So didn't you just turn into that? You know, didn't you just like amalgamate yourself as that person? And yes, you are right. I amalgamated myself as that person. You know, that is kind of what I became, you know, to one extent. But You know, I don't mind that, and my mum, I don't think, doesn't mind that much these days. So, and I think that's kind of one trait of a reseller. They don't care, you know, they don't, not necessarily they don't care about their business or they don't care about things they do, but they don't care what other people think. They just do not care. Because if you're going to be a businessman or anything like that, then you're going to have to make unfavorable decisions. You're going to have to make decisions that paint you in a certain light or whatever it may be. And, you know, if you're going to care about that, like, intensely, then it's not going to help you out that much. Now, I'm not saying don't have empathy. I'm not saying turn yourself into a cold, heartless person. But what I am saying is that removing that thinking or this kind of philosophy or ideology of you've got to care what everyone thinks about you on every decision, I personally think is going to go against you as a reseller. I think you have to kind of embrace what you do it to the best standards you can, and let every other bugger else do what they're going to do in the way that they want to do it, you know? The reason I'm still on YouTube is because I don't care what other people think, you know? If I cared what some of the negative people in the comments said, you know, way back when, where I was going through a period of, you know, for a long time, of a load of trolls in the chat and loads of trolls in the comments and stuff. If I cared what they thought, I wouldn't be here. I would have quit YouTube, you know, like a year or so ago. So, you know, so it's kind of just that kind of thinking of you've got to embrace the fact that you don't really care anymore and just chill, you know, and just enjoy what you're gonna do, you know, because that's what I do. I enjoy it, you know. I don't worry about things. I just enjoy things now. There's a skill to writing on whiteboards, you know. Yes, I know, boys. Right, let's go down. 5 weeks. I'll lend you some Bitcoin, you animal. Yeah, I know. I've just been to Asda today. One of the workers started throwing milk and cream and butter at me. What? Why? Oh, right. How dare he? Oh, seriously, George. Oh my God. I unsubscribed from ads and resubscribed. No fanfare. Maybe you need to do it. Maybe you need to do it like, you know, unsubscribe and then wait like 5 minutes. Or well, wait like a minute and then resubscribe. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, everyone else seemed to do it pretty fine. So I'll double check it at the end of the stream anyway. So yeah. Purple suit and Lambo next ad. Nah, not. Well, maybe a purple suit. I'd quite like that. Quite like that actually. One more to your channel, Peter A's Adventures. Oh right, have you just subbed to Peter A then? Rolf Harris mode. Can you tell me what it is yet? What? I don't even get it. Oh God, it's turned into a draw my life video. Yeah, brilliant. Right then. Let's have a look up the chat. Tap peddler, use paper shredder and make your own packaging too. I do reselling part-time and my wife is supportive and my friends and family are as well. That's nice. My parents would like me to have a proper job along with reselling if part-time or full-time. But yeah, I mean, I think my mum and dad would certainly my dad would like me to have something part-time. And his reason for doing that is justified because really, like, it is a very, very lonely job. Like, I mean, I look forward to Thursday talks on a Thursday because I know it's not necessarily completely social, but it's some aspect of communicating with people and embracing with people. And you know, I look forward to that because obviously my mum doesn't work Monday and Tuesdays anyway. But then, you know, Wednesday and Friday I'm pretty much quite solitary. So on Thursday, you know, for that hour or whatever, I can, oh bloody hell, we're getting on for the hour already. Yeah, so for the hour, I'm kind of thinking, you know, it's a nice environment. It's nice just to be social for a change and just to chill, you know, and not have to. I say not have to worry about work, but I suppose in one way, this is an extension of my work because I'm talking about my work sometimes, and you know, and YouTube is an extension of my work and stuff. So yeah, but it doesn't feel, you know, it just doesn't like when we often just do, you know, listing or we do packaging, sometimes it doesn't feel like work. You know, you just do it and you enjoy it, and, you know, if you want to stick some headphones in while you're listing or whatever, or listen to a podcast, you know, it kind of, it doesn't feel completely like work. So, yeah, I suppose, like, on Thursday it's nice to have that little bit of social time, but yeah, I could see that my mum and dad would like it if I got a part-time job, so that then I could have more of a social outlet. And I think that relates to this topic quite nicely, because a lot of people, I think, that would be the same for, regardless of whether their family would like them to have a part-time job or a social outlet or whatever, but actually, how do you feel in reselling, and do you feel like you need a social outlet, and you know, if so, how would you be able to go about doing that? You know, what are you going to do to have more of a social outlet in this job, and to make it feel a little bit less lonely and stuff? So I suppose, yeah, it kind of ties in quite nicely with that, really. Right, I shall quickly scroll down. Ads, just get a proper thing to wipe the board. I am getting a proper thing, I just didn't have time. Gotta fix up, look sharp before heading out the door ads. Gotta fix up. Oh, you don't need to. And, you know, if I'm like this now, you imagine me with a partner, like, God damn it, I will let myself go in. Well, actually, no, I think it. Right, so some people, right, before they've got a partner, right, they like do themselves up, like dress to the nines or whatever the saying is. I don't know what the saying is, but they do themselves up, you know, like crazy. And then I'm a little bit, need to like kind of show the board a little bit more there, but yeah, so they get like really dressed up and stuff, and then they go out, and then they, I suppose you could call it peacocking, you know, go out all dressed up and everything, you know, they're attracting someone basically, and then they get someone, you know, they get into a relationship with someone, and I suppose slowly, and I suppose it is a slow process, you think to myself, well, I don't need to get that dressed up, or I don't need to, you know, necessarily do all the things I once did, because, you know, the whole kind of thrill of the chase is now gone. You know, I've seen what you look like, you know, without any clothes on. You know, I get the connection here. We feel it. We're comfortable. We don't really need all this kind of aesthetic beauty, you know. I mean, you don't really need to wear anything from one of those shops, you know, like Ann Summers or whatever anymore, you know. It's just, you know, it's comfortable, you know, it's comfortable. But with me, what might happen is, because I've been so kind of lazy about my appearance for so long, and like, I don't really care, what might happen is I might actually find someone, and that will give me the motivation to be like, well, you know what, I really want to look good for this person. And you go out on date nights, and, you know, you get all nice shirt, and I could picture myself doing it, you know. I could picture myself doing it quite comfortably, like get all dressed up with a shirt on, and you're all nice, and, you know, get your hair done up, and you get, you know, all your aftershave on, and, you know, it's nice to get dressed up, you know. And I do like, I mean, God, I used to love dressing up, you know. I used to love having, you know, ties on and bow ties, and going out for meals like that and stuff with my family. I used to love that. So I can definitely see myself doing that a lot more. But I think the reason is why I'm maybe necessarily not as over these past few years, not as you know, bothered about getting dressed up or really feeling my appearance as much, is because I literally, if I dig deep down, I have no reason to do so, you know. I need to find a reason to help me, you know, get to that again, to feel like, oh yeah, I really do want to get dressed up. But right now I'm like, there's not a reason. Now, you know, you go into it, and again, this stems back to kind of reselling being quite a solitary job, you know, and you're at home on your own, etc. That all fuels the reason not to do it. And then obviously when you're if you go out to a part-time job, or you go out and you do a club or something like that, you're mixing with new people, you feel that desire within yourself to get dressed up, not necessarily because of other people, but just because you want to have some sort of sense of pride in your appearance, and it's nice to get dressed up like that, and to just look in the mirror and think, you know what, I do. I look pretty good. You know, I look pretty good, and you know, that's nice. That's nice. And then from that, you know, then comes you meet someone, you get friendly with them, you maybe get in a relationship or maybe not. Maybe you just stay friends with them. But even though if you still stay friends with them, you may still want to feel like you want to get dressed up around them a little bit, or at least a little bit more than you do with yourself. Now, a lot of the friends I have currently, I've been friends with them for so long that it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna not do anything. But you know, in that early kind of sentiment of, or that early stage, not sentiment, but stage of a friendship, you do like that, you know, especially the first 3-6 months, something like that, just as you would in a relationship, really. So, you know, something like that has to come along. Now, what's going to actually manifest that for me? Well, the thing that's going to manifest that for me is myself, is me, you know, looking at a club that I could do. You know, or anyone on the chat, you know, if you're feeling lonely, you look at a club you can do, right, in the evenings. Then you get a little bit dressed up, you go out, you meet people, you socialise, you find someone you know, you might fall in love with, or you find someone who you might make a brilliant friendship with, or you find a creative partner who you can do all sorts of work with in terms of, you know, for businesses or whatever, or, you know, for film and television, or whatever it may be. It depends on what your kind of thing is, or, you know, it doesn't really matter, but it's interesting because it's only that step that you take that then can lead to those things and can lead to those experiences, you know. And as I was mentioning, the last few years, it's kind of as if I've not taken as many of those steps because of my reselling, because, you know, I've loved doing this, I enjoy doing this, and it doesn't need me to take those steps necessarily. So you end up becoming in this kind of, it's either an all or nothing situation with reselling. Like, you're either a full-time reselling or a full-time reseller, or you're, you know, you try and build on your social life. It doesn't feel, or it feels very, very hard when you're a full-time reseller, someone who is really committed to this and wants to do this like 6-7 days a week, or whatever it may be, not just reselling but anything in business 6 or 7 days a week. You'll find it very hard, or I certainly do, to actually like be social as well as that, you know. And I think it does kind of dull your idea of how you should be like when you're social. So you may end up doing these things socially, but as I mentioned, you know, normally you would feel this feeling of, oh, I want to go out and I want to get dressed up. That feeling might not be there as much because you've been so long not doing that, you know. So there's always that as well. But anyway, I'll look in the chat very quickly. I'm interested. Oh, I already said that. Question, what's the topic for today? I was trying to get back onto the topic. Question, why don't you communicate with the chat? I just get off on a tangent. I don't know. I don't know why I do it. Yeah, I think Sparrow then said that's part of the fun of Thursday Talk. I just have a lot of stuff. Like, I think did I mention this last week? I said, like, I have a lot of thoughts in my brain, and they all just connect together, and then I just literally go off on one, and then literally like come back to the chat after I've gone off on one. It's really, really weird. But yeah, does silence is golden still work? Well, yeah, it does if I look in the chat. What do you think about Jamie Dimon creating his own coin on the blockchain? I've not really read into it that much, and I'm not going to talk about it here anyway. So, where's the scarf? I just put it down before because I was getting a bit hot around my neck. So, you know why I'm getting hot? Because this light here is actually quite powerful. Like, it doesn't look like it would be that powerful, but it does. So yeah, I just took it off. If I put it on again, I'll probably end up taking it off. So, I might take it off in a minute. Yeah, so we've got about 10-15 minutes left, so I'll try and get in the chat a bit more. Question, where's the scarf? Oh, I already answered that. Oh, George has got to go. Okay, bye, George. Thanks for popping in. I'm trying to concentrate on sales figures for Jan, and this is so distracting. Yeah, it will be. Has Ads got a topic for today? Yes, I've been talking about the topic. Reselling and relationships. And people have even put in the chat about reselling relationships. Like, oh, what was that? Tell people to sub. subscribe. That's the other goal. Tell people to subscribe. So yeah, reselling relationships. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what else I could cover really with it. Oh, you know what would be a good thing? If you get into a new relationship, this is a good thing to cover on the topic. If you get into a new relationship with someone, right? Whether it be a guy or a girl, you know, it depends on kind of your sexuality or whatever. But you know, whatever sex it is and whatever person that is, if you get into a relationship, let's say they don't like reselling, right? How would people go about handling that? Because I mean, I don't really, like, honestly, if I'm being truthful, I don't know how I would handle that. Like, because if you get into a new relationship and you've maybe been, let's say you've been in that, let's say actually you've been in that relationship for a few months and you're quite aware after that time that they don't like your reselling. You know, maybe it's because of all the stuff around, maybe it's because of the time it takes away from, you know, your kind of relationship or whatever, if it is taking, you know, a lot of time out of your relationship. You know, whatever it may be, you've established that they don't like it. How then do you deal with that? Because a few months into the relationship, you've formed a connection there. There's certainly some level of a connection there, and you know, I suppose it's one of those things that, you know, if it came to it being an all or nothing situation, like, look, it's either me or the reselling. You know, because I've thought about that before. Like, if I get into a relationship, or if anyone on the chat were to get into a relationship, you know, and it's that all or nothing situation, I don't know how to answer that question. I don't think I could say, well, it's going to be the reselling, or, well, it's going to be you. You know, I mean, there is a big thing that kind of will end up diverging away from that question, end up meaning that the person won't say that question. And that is if they truly love you. Because if they truly love you, they would not let that get, like a thing like that get in the way of the relationship. So they would never have the need to ask you the question. So actually, going on that train of thought, if we say that they're going to ask that question, then we can not necessarily assume, but we can have a little bit of an inkling that maybe their love for you isn't as strong as it could be. Maybe it isn't necessarily true love. Now, the problem that arises here is that if it is only 2 or 3 months into the relationship, is that enough time for some sort of true love to formulate? And again, this now comes back into the more of the question of, you know, how fast does love manifest itself? Can it be love at first sight? Can it manifest itself within a week? Can it manifest itself within an hour? Can it manifest itself within a year? You know, how long? And again, we can't answer this. It's not a measurable question, because love is so complex, and it's so different dependent on everyone's individual experiences that it can't really be measured like that. But essentially, if really, in black and white terms, if they're asking you that question, even if they have only known you or only been in this relationship 2 or 3 months, if there is even the faintest possibility that that could turn into true love, you would imagine that even at that point of maybe the beginning stages of love, they wouldn't ask you that question anyway, because they know that they'll take the reselling with you. You know, they will take you and the reselling together anyway, because they know that this could be true love in the future. So I suppose even so basically, if anyone asked you that question, maybe they're not like your true love or whatever. You know, if they say, look, you know, you're great and everything, it's brilliant, we're getting on quite well, but look, you know, I really don't like this reselling thing you do, and unfortunately, you know, I can't be in a relationship with you if you're going to continue to dump a load of crap everywhere in your house, or you know, or whatever it may be. So, and I think right there, you know, is the answer really, that they wouldn't ask you to do that. Not if someone who really loved you. But certainly, if you were to get into a relationship, let's say, and they you know, didn't like your reselling, but, you know, they loved you, they did really, really love you, and they didn't ask that question, they didn't even at all approach that question with you. But but they mentioned the fact that they're not too keen on reselling, let's say, then what that can do is then slowly wear things down, you know, and then, you know, arguments will form around it more and stuff. So what we then have to be aware of in that situation is kind of mutual collaboration on the matter, or what's the word? What's the word? I forgot the word. It begins with a C. Compromise. You know, compromise. So, you know, you've got to be careful when you get into one of those relationships and they don't particularly like the reselling or whatever. You maybe have to do things like, right, well, look, you've established one of the things why you don't like my reselling is because there's a lot of stuff in the house, right? So, look, I've got the funds with my business to be able to buy a unit or a lock-up or an office space or whatever. So, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And not only will it get the stuff out of the house, but it'll allow me to expand. I might even be able to have a business address down there or whatever as well. You know, if it's an office space, something like that. And then that means any business mail or, you know, anything like that, packaging supplies, the rest of it, they can all be diverted down there. So, you know, you've got to compromise and think of ways around it so that then the person, because assuming they love you, you're going to love them the same, then you know, you say to them, right, well, that's what I'll do, and we'll compromise with this, and that'll obviously help your kind of well-being with it, and there won't be stuff everywhere in the house, and, you know, we'll separate the business life from home life. So that's always one way you could get around it. But I think it's with relationships and reselling, with and when I say relationships, I don't just mean relationships with a spouse or, you know, someone you love in not only the, because really I've been thinking as well, the only difference between a friendship and a relationship, or a you know, a relationship in terms of you know, like a relationship with your parents, or a relationship with an auntie or an uncle, or a relationship with your kids, the only difference between a friendship and a relationship is sex. That is the only difference, because I love my friends, right, as much as I would love someone else, right? But the only difference is that when someone else comes along who is in a relationship with me, not a friendship, the only thing that we're going to do extra is sex, right? So what you've got to think is, right, if my friends don't like me doing something, yes, okay, they're not in the... You could always argue the fact that they're not living with you. That's obviously a contention. But, you know, if my friends don't like something of my reselling, then I will always talk it through with them. Or if maybe they don't, you know, maybe they don't particularly have a way of doing something that I would, you know, I would do it differently or whatever, then again, I'll talk it through with them. I'm not necessarily going to change everything I am for them, because, like I said, they're not necessarily living in the same space as me, but I would certainly take their thoughts on board. I'd certainly kind of work things through with them, and I'd think, right, well, you know, for example, let's say one of my friends said, you know, oh, do you not use recycled packaging or something? You know, I really think it would be better for the environment if you use recycled packaging. Then I would say to them, well, you know, I mean, there's a lot of costs that may be involved with that, but you know what, I'll take that thought on board. You know, it's something that you're passionate about, and as your friend, I'd like to support you in that passion or that cause. So, you know what, I'll have a look into it, because, you know, I'm a guy who'd like to support the environment too, you know, so, you know, I'll look into it, and then something may be able to happen with that, and I've kind of supported my friend, and done that in that way. And then, obviously, the same happens if they support me with something, you know, like I have something that I come to them with, that they do something in a certain way, and I have a different thought process on it. We then come together, and then they may change something because of something I've said, you know, or a piece of advice that I've made, or some sort of word or sentence that I've said. So, you know, it's just kind of like just this complete and utter compromise, you know, with relationships and reselling, and just constantly being aware of each other, and being able to love each other wholly, and just, you know, understand that there's going to be things in your business that may upset someone, you know, whether it be parents, kids, relationship, friends, you know, outside friends or whatever. It's kind of just got to be something that, you know, you have to just compromise on. And I don't know where I was going with the whole friendship, relationship, sex thing. That's just gone out of my mind. I think that I lost my thread on that. I was meant to say something else about that, but yeah. But basically, I think what I was meaning is that friends and relationship, there's not much of a distinction between them if you really look at them for what they are. You love a person not for their body, you love them from their mind, for who they are, you know, that deep sense of connection on almost a spiritual level, or, you know, if you want to go there, it's almost on that kind of, that level, you know, of this, you know, I can see you, I love who you are. And just as you do that for someone who is your friend, you do that for the person who's in a relationship. The only difference is that you have sex with them. That's it, you know. And as I alluded to, you know, the fact that maybe you're living together, but then again, friends live together, you know. So, you know, you then have to judge on that basis. But it's quite funny that when you think that actually a relationship and a friendship are pretty much the same thing, you know, like it's really weird, that, isn't it? Like when you actually, like, you are so close to being in a relationship with everyone you meet. You're just one little act away from kind of being fully connected with everyone you meet, you know, or being in this weird relationship status with everyone you meet, because that's kind of all it is. It's like loving them mentally and then loving them physically and then encapsulating that in this concept that we call a relationship, you know, or you don't love them physically, but you just love them mentally, and then encapsulating that in what we call a friendship. You know, it's really weird, you know. It's yeah. Anyway, we won't get into concepts on this episode. That could be a very long video. Yeah, that would be a very, very long video. Right, let's go down. How does the pool cue feel about being married? Pool cue? What are you on about? Good afternoon, ads. Going to start uploading videos again soon. Some interesting antique ones coming up soon, which you may enjoy. Oh, cool. I'll have to, that's not Car Boot Chris, is it? No, it's not, is it? Car Boot Collectors. Who's that? It's not Chris, is it? Because there's someone called Car Boot Chris. I don't know. Have I watched your videos before? I think I might have briefly watched one or two, but I'm not sure. Couple of years ago, some of your videos, yeah. I probably did watch them a couple of years ago, but God, that was a while ago. I met my hubby by telling him if he didn't stop banging his pool cue off the pool table, I was going to shove it up where the sun don't shine. My God, that's crazy. You wouldn't think you'd meet someone like that and fall in love with them, kind of thing, but it all happens in different ways, doesn't it? I think if you have to meet people you connect with, I think you have, yeah, you definitely have to meet people to connect with them. Yeah, definitely. His Ads is so ready for a relationship. He's got it all sorted way more than I get it. Now, I don't know. It's all the, you know, for relationships or, Oh, question from Andy Robinson. I'll go in a minute as well because we're nearly at the hour. Ads, I followed your advice and tried humanising my orange, but my nan walked in on me. Any guidance on how to get it out? I didn't think... Your nan, aren't you like... I thought Andy was like 30 or 40 or something. My God. So your nan's still alive? Like, that's crazy. She must be like 90 or something. That's awesome. Yeah, any guidance on how to get out of this sticky situation? I don't mean humanise an orange, like, by bloody talking to it, like, nah. You know, just humanise it in your brain, for God. You don't need to, oh, God. People. What? No. Anyway, right, okay. You have an orange, right? And you look at it. And a part of those cells, right, like, you know, chimpanzees are like 98.9% the same as us or whatever. Oranges, they must, I'm pretty sure they're like 60-70% like related to us. So you look at it and you look at the cells on it and you open it up and then you look at all that intricate detail of what forms an orange, and obviously there's a lot of water in an orange as well. It's like crazy percent water. And you look at that, and you with that kind of thought of that they're connected with you as well, you know, the fact that they share certain, whatever it may be, genes or DNA or whatever, you look at it, and then before you eat it, you think to yourself, like, you know, I'm gonna consume this, and the energy from that orange is then gonna be mine. You know, the energy from that orange is mine then, you know, and that's kind of, you know, it's interesting. It's like, you know, I can't describe it. Like, there's some things in life that you can't describe with words. You just do things, and they're just so magnificently beautiful that, you know, I mean, that is, it's pointless to even say that. Oh no, it's not coming off now. Oh God, uh-oh, uh-oh, oh no, oh no. That isn't even a permanent pen. Right, anyway, but it's pointless to say that, you know, we can cover that up really, you know, it's pointless to say it. But I was trying to put it into words, and when you do something, when you take an act that is so powerful and beautiful, and you're just looking at it, and you're just being in that moment, you know, and doing what you're doing, sometimes there's no need to put it into words. Sometimes there's no need to expand on what you're doing. It's just simply what you're doing. And I think, yeah, there's no point in putting it into words. But just when you're eating an orange or whatever you're eating, just really think without thinking about it. So like really look at it for what it is, and just I don't know how to. I can't describe it. I can't describe it. It's pointless me trying to describe it, but just feel it. That's it. That's the word. Feel. Feel the moment. That's it. That's what I mean. Feel the bloody moment. Feel that orange. All the weight it carries. All that evolution. All the thing it is. All that universal thing. And then absorb it, you know, in the form of eating it or consuming it. That's what I'm trying to say. But just feel the weight of an orange. And I don't mean the physical weight. Oh, put it on the scales like 200 grams. I mean feel the weight of that orange. You know, really feel the weight of that orange. But it's pointless me trying to explain it, because it can't even be explained. So, don't know why I'm bothering doing that. Well, I'll go in a minute. I've got a few bits and bobs to do this afternoon anyway. Question: how do I get one of these relationships, and how much do they sell for? I don't even buy relationship. Well, actually, there are probably ways you can buy relationships, like those, what are they called? Those people, like mail order brides and stuff, but don't do that, because it's weird. It's like, I would feel really uncomfortable, like, with, not only for paying for someone, that'd be weird, that'd be just, ugh, but not that, but actually being with someone, like, yes, that you've paid to be with you, but also that just doesn't want to be with you, because they probably won't want to be with you, you know? It's like in one way, you're kind of forcing love, and it doesn't work like, you can't force love, it doesn't work like that. You can gently push love and kind of trigger it in your direction, like, you know, I fancy someone, let's say, I go up to them, I kind of display certain talents that I may have, you know, and then that might gently trigger them to kind of, you know, like me a little bit more. Like, for example, you know, you could go, right, so speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. You know, Henry VIII reigned from 1509 to 1547. You know, just little tricks, you know, little tricks, little bits of knowledge that you have and think, oh yeah, I could get jiggy with him, you know. So like, oh yeah, 1509 to 1547, oh yeah, he's on it, you know. Because I peacock in another way. I peacock in the intellectual sense, not the, you know, get your hair done up and all the rest of it. I peacock in numbers and like, memory, you know, like things that I can remember, you know. Like, for example, let's do 257 times 14, right? So 14 times 250, that's 3,500. We need 14 times 7, that is 98. So 257 times 14, 3,598. You know, just simple stuff like that, really. But anyway, shall we end on that note? Shall we end on an awesome little note like that? Because I need to go and get some work done. So, yeah, we'll leave it there for that one, guys. I will have the whiteboard properly up next week. Apologies that it was a bit kind of half-arsed this week. it wasn't gonna be. I had it up. I had it up properly. Make sure you hit the like. Oh, make sure you hit the like. 30 likes. I want 30 likes. Let's rub that in a bit. Get that in. There we go. I'm just doing a little arrow. 30 likes on this video. We've already done the test feature. I think we kind of covered the topic for this week. And also, tell people to subscribe. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel so that then you can watch all my better videos, you know, because Thursday Talks is some would call it a mystical experience, I suppose. But my other videos are a little bit more grounded. But yeah, Thursday Talks is more of a mystical, spiritual, weirdly wonderful, crazy experience. So yeah, subscribe, because I do actually know what I'm talking about in some areas, and I can actually give you some useful information. So yeah, tell people to subscribe. That's that one done. So we just need to get 30 likes. I'll just check on the likes, and then I will go. I'm not going to wait for 30 likes, because God knows how long that'd take. About 5 days, I reckon. But let's see. Come on. Oh, God, no. Right, oh, come on, 8 likes! God, I'm liking that myself. I don't care if I like my own video, I'm liking that myself. Right, come on, get the likes up. Like, up. I'm not finishing on 9. God damn it. God, for 9 likes! 37 people watching, 9 likes. That is absolutely ridiculous. Come on, 20 likes, come on. At least 20. I want 30 really, but come on, 20. If you're watching this after this is recorded, right, whack the like button, because it's probably not on 30. So come on. Oh, we got a dislike. For God's sake, come on. Let's get some likes on here. You know, I don't mind if we get 30 dislikes and 30 likes, but I want 30 likes. Come on. I mean, for a lot of the time, sometimes I do deserve the same likes as dislikes, but come on, I at least want the 30 likes, you know. 30 likes, 30 dislikes, that's fine by me, but 30 likes, that's the important bit. We're getting the 30 likes, so come on. Oh, for God's sake, no one's even doing it. I'm gonna go. I'm disappointed. We've not got one more like. I'm turning my back on Thursday Talks. I've got one like. I can stay here all day. We got all day. Just check. Nope, 9 likes. Wait, hang on. Wait, no. Wait. I've probably not refreshed it, have I? Let's have a look. Wait! It was just because it wasn't refreshed. Brilliant. Right, okay. 20 likes. Thank you very much. Right, okay. So, yeah. Like it. Sorry, it wasn't refreshed. It was my fault. My fault. As normal. Most things are my fault. Don't worry. Right, okay. Let's go. 21 likes. Right, brilliant. Yay! We're there. Brilliant. 21 now. Mine shows 2. Right, well, whatever. It's okay. It's alright. It's just that it wasn't refreshed. Right, I'll leave it there, guys. Thank you very much. We're back with the board. Back with the board. That's a good one. Back with the board next week. Can't quite tick that off yet, but I'll tick it off later on when people have liked. Like. So I can tick it off later on, because I'm not going to sleep tonight with that not being ticked off. So yeah, like video, and then yeah, I will leave it there. Next week I don't know what the topic will be, because I've not even discussed it yet. And I will see you in the next one. It was a good one today. We're on fire again, kind of. Yeah, I definitely need to work on my sermons a little bit. But one day I'll work on my sermons, and then they'll be flawless. They'll be like crazy level, you know, they'll be like public speaker kind of, what's the word, like meets motivational speaker level, you know, it'll be that level. And then we'll be winning then. We'll be winning. But yeah. Anyway, right, let's go. I'll leave it there. See you guys. See you everyone.